Greetings and welcome to another excellent World of Tanks video. Alright, this is the final week of the Valor card business. So I thought I would just mention some of this stuff here and give you some insights on what I've seen already this morning. One of the things about the cards is that this is the week 3 of the bravery set is the set. It tends to keep shifting back to the second week. So whenever you open your card pack, make sure you're clicking on the bravery first. You don't want to get last week's cards if you've already gotten all of those cards from last week. So I just thought I would throw that out there. Every time I've seen it, it's been on the last week's card thingy, even though I completed it. I don't know. It's wargaming, and as I told my friends, wargaming has delusions, or they have delusions of mediocrity. You know, they're so bad at what they do that if they were mediocre, it would be an improvement. So that's where we are on this. You know, I mean, I've never seen such a prolonged example of subpar or substandard, really, behavior from a company as wargaming. They're awful. And, you know, the good news is there's a game coming out, or that's actually in development right now. I've seen some clips. And, they're going to annihilate these idiots. These guys are just going to be sitting there like a stick in the mud, and they don't have a clue. They absolutely have no clue what's going on. And if you haven't seen or heard of this game, it's called Steel Aces. And you can check it out. I'll make a video about it later, but I'm just giving you a heads up that, you know, the thing about wargaming that's good, you know, they hired, you know, good creators for the music. You know, everything they have looks good. But like the pretty girl at the beach who's an idiot, it doesn't last for long. All right? And that's what their games are. They're the pretty girl at the beach who's an idiot. Oh, wow, you're nice looking. Man, you're stupid. That's wargaming in a nutshell. They have the worst game physics I've literally ever seen. It's just that sad. You know, you could have a good game, but they refuse to do it. And it's because that their twisted version of reality that cheating the customer makes them money in their mind. It doesn't. But in their mind, it does. They're completely narcissistic. They're also complete authoritarians. And so they believe that their twisted version of reality is the best version. And they're stupid. It's just, you can go at any time. You know, you can click here. Let me show you. You can click to this and look right at the very bottom. Right at the very bottom, it'll tell you in tiny, tiny letters. Let me get on the screen to show you. Right here, it'll tell you how many people are on the American server and then how many are on the world server of the other, well, Europe server, whatever. The numbers are staggeringly low. Why? Because they cheat their customers. And a lot of people realize that, you know what? These guys are full of it. I mean, their gaming is so bad. You know, you play this game, and if you've ever done anything noteworthy, it's really awesome because you've been cheated while it happened, and that's the problem. How do they cheat you? Well, I'll give you some examples. Number one, whenever they stick you, doesn't matter what it is you're in. Whenever they stick you, in mismatched games, you're being cheated. Now, you're not the only one being cheated, but in the end, it only matters that you know that you're being cheated. So they're cheating all kinds of people. Now, if they were smart, which they're not, this is the key. These guys are absolute morons. Why? Because if they were smart, they would say, hey, you're playing in tier X. No, not X. Sorry, that's not a good one. You're playing in tier whatever it is. And they should have, would you like to, you want to play a match of whatever tank, it doesn't matter. Let's just say tier 5. You're in tier 5. They should have a thing that comes up for each session, all right? Would you like to, click this box if you'd like to possibly be paired against higher, +1 or -1 tanks and get, and get extra or have a chance to earn extra experience as a consequence, +1 or +2. And that's how a smart guy would do it, because that way, if you choose to play potentially tier 6s or potentially up to tier 7, you chose that. And when you get annihilated because those tanks are way more powerful than what you have, you're culpable. They don't do that because they rely upon that to cheat you. And in their twisted reality, they think that makes them money. Another thing I hated about this, and it is a cheat. It's cheating the customer who's not smart enough to understand. Whenever you go out and die and can start and play another match, you're ruining the player base, which is what they have done. Which is why, the thing I'm going to cover soon here is the idiocy of players. They are incentivizing the player to be an idiot, to go out there, play his match, and if he gets annihilated, go play another one. You should be forced to sit there and watch the other guys work on the game, win or lose, because you're an idiot. Now, sometimes it's not you that's the idiot. Sometimes it's an idiot on your team or a group of idiots who fail to do their job, and then you get killed as a result of them being derelict in their duty. Okay, so give it like one, dump out game option. So if you get overrun by 6 guys because your guys didn't do their job and you're whacked in the first 2 minutes of gameplay, what have you, then you could go, oh, I'm out of here, because they were incompetent and they screwed you. All right, I'd go with that. But they don't do that. They want you to go and learn the pattern of irresponsibility, because they believe the irresponsibility makes them money. I don't know why, because it's not working. You can look at their results of their server and tell you could show a 4th grader this explanation I'm giving you, and he'd be like this: yeah, you're right. It doesn't require extra genius to understand this. Your game is patently unfair, and you're hurting yourself. You're hurting the players, number one, but you're hurting yourself, because they're not making money like they could be. They could make a fortune if they just treated their customers with respect. Oh well, they're idiots. What are you going to do? There's nothing you could do to save them, and they're going to get annihilated, because they're going to go out of business, and they're going to be wondering, gee, I can't understand why we went out of business. Because they're idiots. All right. And now I've covered that. I mean, that's just the basics. There's way more stuff I could go into, but that's enough. I've demonstrated that these guys are idiots. And it was really funny. I was talking to a guy in a game, a very nice guy, and he's like, yeah, some of these kids are just not good. I go, bro, they're not kids. They're 40 years old. And some of them have children. They're imbeciles is what they are. And they choose to be imbeciles. And I'll tell you what I told my friends who weren't around in the beginning. In the beginning, 99% of the guys had headsets. Why, you might ask? Because they were smart enough to know they didn't know everything. Knowing everything really wasn't possible. And so you wanted to run into people who knew things you didn't know, because everybody's going on their own path, and you're going to learn stuff, and this guy's going to learn stuff, etc. And that information, when you talk in the games, basically gets cross-pollinated and makes everybody better. I know something that this guy doesn't know. He knows something that I don't know. And it doesn't matter who knows more than the other guy, but you're helping everyone who's listening and paying attention improve who needs that information. It doesn't happen anymore. I told him it was a miracle that I'm talking to somebody that was, cogent in his thinking and was excited, to be playing and, have a chance to win the game. We actually won that game, and that guy played great. So it was really fantastic to talk to somebody with a good, positive attitude, because this game has devolved into a garbage fest where these guys are narcissistic jerks. That's what they are. So it makes it tough, because if you're one of the good players on your team, you have to try and carry your team, which, I'm going to go and give you a segue to what you see here. You see Nigel, the Yeti, and my Sexton artillery. I just came back from a match where we were playing on Severogorsk, a snow map, and it was basically, for all practical purposes, a two-man game. Myself and this sniper guy. Let me show you. Here is the deal. It was myself and little Wombat. At the end of the game, it was the two of us alive, and we had killed everybody. There was a Stug 3. And the Wombat got into the enemy base, and shortly thereafter, the Stug 3 got into our base. And so I was in the center of the map looking to assist him if he spotted him. Turned out the guy was at my base, and I spotted him. I drilled that Stug, but my job was real simple. I didn't have to kill him. I just had to delay him so that Wombat could capture the base. So, I drilled that Stug and almost killed him. It was just a crazy deal. And I fired the second shot, but apparently his shot killed me before my shot hit or damaged him, or it ended up doing no damage to him one way or the other. A typical wargaming cheat, because that's exactly what it is. Every time you shoot a guy with a square shot and it does no damage, you've just been cheated. I just got to throw that in there, because these guys are addicted to it. They're addicted to cheating the customer. Boy, that sounds like a really good idea. Hey, let's cheat the customer. He's too stupid to realize that we're cheating him. Oh, wait a minute, he's not? Uh-oh. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I drilled that guy for maybe 70% of his life, but all I had to do was make him concentrate on me so he couldn't make it back to defend his base. So Wombat comes through, cashes it in for the victory. And the Stug never made it. So fantastic job. Essentially, it was the two of us who carried this team. I was the number one damage dealer, even as bottom tier artillery. But the rest of our team was, one guy, some guys had one kill, etc. It was very spread around. But you're looking at the two best players, and the third best guy in our team was that Panzer B2. He's being hidden behind my face. But, he had like 700 damage and one kill, just to give you a heads up. So this is an example of the idiocy of the player base, where you had to have two supermen win the game, because the rest of the team were imbeciles of greater or lesser degree. So that's what the game has devolved into, thanks to the idiocy of wargaming, and nothing will thrill me more than to see them go under, because they are an abomination of gaming. As big as any others. I don't know. I'm sure there's some other ones that could possibly be worse. Hard to imagine, but I haven't seen every game or every gaming company. So I don't know about that. But, I just do my stuff. And as you guys do, you do your stuff to the best of your ability, and whatever, happens, happens. But this is, like I said, an example of doing well in the face of being absolutely cheated blind. And, myself and Wombat still came through and cashed this victory. So that was, really good stuff. I would just prefer to have fair matches, because when you have a fair match, you get to a point where, hey, you barely win or you barely lose, and it's like, wow, dude, that was a great game. Congratulations to you, sir. Okay? And I've had a few games like that in the past. Some I won, some I lost. But, where the other team was like really, both teams played well, and just one team comes in second, basically. But in this game, it is ultra rare. It does happen, but it's ultra rare. And that's the problem, that they have, they've done it to themselves with their, asinine behavior. That's why they have all these giveaways now, is because they're struggling to be relevant. And the struggle is going to end with their demise, for sure. Just a matter of when, not if. So that covers that. Now, let's go look. Okay. War Heroes Valor. This is your points for your, card tokens, essentially. That speaks for itself. You already know that. The banners. Okay, let's cover the banner stuff. Now, depending on what you have done during the last 2 weeks will kind of shape what you probably should do. But, you're hopefully aware of what you're doing and what you need to do. We'll get to that in a second. Let me cruise on down here and show you something that's very important that I missed. A string theory, whatever, who cares? You do it, whatever. Winner's circle is the key. Now, what is winner's circle? I didn't even see it until I checked their website and looked at the news. But essentially, this was what I would call a junior long haul. 50 games, you need to be on the winning team or top 5. Okay? Your team needs to win, or be in the top 5 if your team is on the losing team, because you have idiots. Because guess what? You lost because your team had more idiots than the other team. I mean, if I was one of those content creators that was hooked up with wargaming, they'd cut me off because I'm not a shill. I don't shill for this company. They're idiots. They're the stupidest company I could imagine. Now, like I said, there's probably some, that are as bad or worse. I don't know. I haven't seen them. But this is a company of idiots for idiots. And those of us who are not idiots, we're suffering through the presence of, just legions of imbeciles. That's the way it is. But anyway, either win your game or be in the top 5 50 times. That's 50 times. And you're going to get an Overlord chest. All right? Like I said, now the old long haul was 75 games, top 7, win or lose. Tomato, tomato. This is long haul junior. This is multiplayer only, like the long haul. No co-op counts. Tier 3 and above. So tier 2's no bueno. All right? Just giving you the heads up there. And now, let's see. Where was I going back here? Yes, I got it. So on the Valor, let's go. Now I'm going to go switch to Valor. All right, banners of Valor, the tanks, what have you. I guess let's click on the tanks. It's the same thing that holds true for all the stuff. Now, for myself, I have the XM boot, and I worked on the first epic tank prize, which I got. Now, but I was screwed on that one. All right, when you're doing the 6 chests for 650 points, actually, let's look at the. Oh, here's the war chest. Let's get the free war chest. Let's see what happens before we. This might be fun. Okay. Couple vehicle boosters, couple of commander boosters, no problem. So here you see, open 50 chests for your next guaranteed epic tank. I got an epic tank. Actually, I got 2. And my epic tank that I got on chest 50 was the Sentinel. All right. Yeah, so they screwed me, and it took me 50 to get it. Sometimes, like my friend Captain Taff, he got his probably with 30 to go. And not only did he get it, he got the big 3. He got the Killing Tier 10 Chinese Dragon tank. He got the Sentinel and the XM57, all 3 of them in one 6-pack, and he got a Defiance Matilda on top of that. I know it's nothing special, but it was 900 grand in silver refund. So he raked it in 4 tanks on one 6-pack. It's disgusting. That was awesome for him too, by the way. So what I did when I got to the last one, I go, oh man, this one's going to be it. I go, well, if they're going to give me all 3, potentially, I better buy 2 more. So I went and bought 2 more of these Valor chests. So I opened the 50th one, Sentinel. The next one I got garbage, and the one after that, I got the Stockade. So the 50th and 52nd chests got me 2 epic tanks, one Sentinel, and then the last one was the Stockade. Great, I didn't have the Stockade. That's fine. And, really nice looking. I'm not going to use it, but it looks awesome. So my situation is that I'm going to, work 6 chests, I don't know how much. I'm not going to kill myself to do it, but I'm going to give myself every legitimate chance to pull that AM-57 or that Chinese Dragon tank. There's 2 other ones I don't have. One of them is the Adler Tier 7, and the other one is the Tier 8 Fatherland. So for me, it's 50-50. If I get another epic tank, 2 of them are the 2 that I want. The other 2 would be the Adler and the Fatherland. So it's 50-50 if I get another epic. If I don't get another epic, whatever, you get what you get, right? So it depends. I'm working on those because on the tanks itself, I have almost all of them. As a result of doing 6-packs, I'll get enough flags to get this double-barreled sniper tank. So now I have the Iron Rain, I have the Frostbite. I don't have the Fraternité, I don't care. I have the Knight, really good tank. Don't have the Ziska, who cares? Don't have the Stark. It looks nice. It's nice looking, but it's another Tier 8 sniper that I don't care about, really. I have the Freedom, it's really good. I have the Motherland, I never use it. I have better Bulldogs than this one. But if you don't have a Bulldog, this is a good one to consider. King Dragon, I have this. A very good tank. I have the Liberté. Came from Christmas. and I have the Senshi that came out of a different chest. So I don't really need any of these other tanks. The only one of them that's really of interest to me is the double-barreled sniper tank, just for a fun factor. So that's my scenario. Your scenario might be different. If you have gone through and gotten the flags to buy this tank and the boot, or any other tank, that's great too. So do whatever floats your boat. Whatever's exciting to you, that's what you should do. It's not a question of right or wrong. It's a question of chocolate or vanilla, whatever flavor floats your boat. You could do some 6-packs. Now, in the 6-packs that I was getting, you get all kinds of stuff. 3-star commanders are nice. Days of premium are nice. You get some of those crazy patriotic 4-season camos. You can even get the skins with the girls on them. I got a TOG 2 skin. Great, thanks a lot. Except that I'm never going to get a TOG 2 because it's an idiot tank, in my opinion. All right? So I'm not interested in that one. I picked up the other ones as well. If I get this tank, I'll get the skin. I got the skin for the XM boot. I'll get the skin for this tank. I got the skin for this one. I bought it. I had this tank. So I bought the skin because it looks awesome. I'm going to show you this tank here in a minute. I've already previously had the Lady Luck on the, what do you call it, on the Sherman, Jumbo Sherman, that is, the Sherman E2. Don't have this tank, don't care. Don't have this one, don't have this one. This is an Italian, tier 9, I think. I have this one. This is the A18 Czechoslovakian Tiger, so I added the skin. It looks pretty cool. I don't have a T29. It's 50-50 on this one, whether I do that or not. Commanders, I have all these commanders. So I might get an extra one just because, hey, 3-star commanders are better than 1-star commanders, and these flags they're not real money, they're just temporary. All right, this is the pinup girls that I have. So this is the Super Hellcat, and I had the glitch where I was able to extra zoom in my garage. That's why I have these pictures like this. These are the extra zoom in. Your standard zoom won't get this close to the tank. This is a skin of the Easy 8 Sherman. There's no chick on here, but it's just showing you the details of the sandbags. This is the extra zoomed in view of the Lady Luck Jumbo Sherman. All right. And this is an extra zoomed in detail picture of the lower part of the M3 Lee. Just so you could see the riveting, etc., in great detail. This is the skin on the T78, zoomed in, to the maximum of its standard ability, and it looked fantastic. So it was like, I don't play this tank very much, but I could not refuse the desire to have this skin on this tank because America. So this is the T78 with the killer skin. So it'll be fun, whenever I play with my friends. If I need to pull out this dude, well, it speaks for itself. So that pretty much covers what needs to be covered for today. So hopefully you're going to be able to be successful on your, mini long haul, 50 wins or top 5 performance, whatever. So I hope that this helped you out. Maybe you learned something, and want to thank you for watching the video, and I look forward to seeing you guys again real soon. And as always, please like and subscribe.